I'd been doing a lot of online courses, and those were great, but I really wanted something that was in person, that was more intimate, that I could get some personal feedback from. It was also around that time that I was becoming more active in my business. It wasn't so much a sideline for me anymore. I wanted to make it more of a full-time business. And I was beginning to realize that I was completely in over my head. I didn't know how to market to people.
Hey friends, and welcome to the Girl Means Business podcast. I'm your host, Kendra Swalls, a photographer and educator on a mission to help you find your passion, power, and purpose through entrepreneurship. So let's jump right into today's episode because this girl means business. Hey guys, welcome to another week here on the Girl Means Business podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We have an extra special episode because today I am chatting with one of my favorite people, Nikki Miller. Nikki was one of my very first mentor clients whenever I started venturing into the world of mentoring and education within the business realm. And it's been really amazing to watch her and her business grow over the last few years. And one of my favorite parts about watching her business grow was seeing her not only take the information that she and I had worked on together and running with it, but making it her own and not just learning from somebody and emulating what they're doing. She took what I had done in my business and the things I had taught her, and she completely molded them into her personality, her style, her brand, her ideal client, and made it something even better for her business than what anyone else could have possibly done. And so today, one of the reasons why I want to share this interview with you is because if you have listened to last week's episode or you follow me on Instagram and social media, you know that I have recently launched the brand new Business Builders membership program. Within this membership program, it is an opportunity for you to get one-on-one access to myself and other amazing boss babes that are building incredible businesses. And you're going to have access to us within the Facebook group, but you're also going to get monthly content to help you grow your business. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Business Builders program, and then we'll jump into my conversation with Nikki today. Business Builders is a monthly mentoring business and marketing tools that you will receive monthly. So the way Business Builders was designed was it was to go against the whole idea of online workshops and courses. While online workshops and courses are great and they have their place in your education within your business, one of the things that I found I struggled with when it came to purchasing courses was that I would buy them, I would get all of the downloads and all the content, and then life would happen and I would never finish the course. I would never implement the tools and the resources and the ideas that I learned in that course because it was so overwhelming. It was so much information coming at me at one time, and it was hard to really kind of filter through that information and figure out what is relevant to my business right now. I preferred the mentor method. I preferred to have somebody that could come alongside my business, hold my hand to some degree and say, look, for your business, this is the direction you need to go. I knew there had to be some middle ground, something that was in between the super personalized mentor guidance and the more hands-off, throw everything at you at one time course method. And so I came up with the Business Builders membership site as a way to kind of bridge that gap. So the way it works is when you sign up, each month you receive new content into your member library based around one topic per month. So for example, in the month of April, our topic revolved around the ideal client. And so all the content that month was about finding your ideal client. We had a video tutorial, we had a PDF workbook that you could print off. It gave you tons of things you could do to work through the process of finding your ideal client. It had marketing ideas for how to reach your ideal client online and in person. We had stock photography and caption templates for social media, a marketing plan, a homework assignment. There's just a lot of really great information. But is designed to be easy to consume and really easy to implement. So you can start doing the things that are in that month's content right away to start seeing results in your business. So instead of having 8 different topics thrown at you at one time in a course that you're having to kind of filter through and implement on your own, you are getting one piece at a time to dive into, work through, implement, and you're not doing it by yourself. Because with your membership, you get access to the Business Builders Inner Circle Facebook group where I will be spending a lot of time in there. Other members will be spending time in there. As the Business Builders membership grows, we're going to have other experts that are going to come in and join us and give us tons of great content. So you're going to have bonus materials, Q&A sessions, extra one-on-one support in there when you need it from myself and anybody else that is an expert in their field. So you're getting that mentor level support and you're getting the content you want from the courses for way less than either of those would cost. And you're getting it in a way that's going to make sure you get results really quickly, really easily. So the nice thing about Business Builders too is the price point. It's $27 a month. So for $27 a month, which if you're looking at courses online, you could do a year of the Business Builders membership and still pay less than you're going to pay for most online courses. And you're getting 12 months plus all the extras in the Facebook group worth of content for such an incredible price. And when you sign up, you are going to have instant access to all of the content that it's already been released in previous months. So you're going to have access to April's content and May's content and anything else going forward from there. So you can always go back and look through the previous month's contents to find what fits your business right now. And the content doesn't go away. You will have access to that for the lifetime of your membership. So if you get content that you think this is not really for me right now, I don't need this in my business, I'm still working at point A and this is more at point C, it's not going anywhere. You can always go back to it. So if this sounds like something that you need in your business, if you need someone to come along and say, let me help you grow your business. Let me help you get you to the next level, but we're going to do it in a way that is going to really get you results, then this is the membership for you. So I want you to head over to girlmeansbusiness.com/business builders. You can go check out all the amazing information there and then sign up and head over, start diving into the content in your membership library. You get immediate access. There is no waiting. So once you sign up, you get access immediately to the membership library, and then you can go and join the Facebook group and start jumping in on the conversations over there. So again, that is girlmeansbusiness.com/business builders. I think you are really going to love it. I am so super excited about it. If you have any questions or you have anything you want to know more about, please feel free to reach out to me at girlmeansbusinesspod@gmail.com. All right, guys, I am so excited to jump into our interview today with Nikki. I think you are going to love hearing about how her business has just flourished over the last few years, and it's going to be super inspirational. So let's go ahead and dive into our conversation. All right, Nikki, how are you? Thanks so much for being here.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, as well as we can be right now, I guess.
Yes.
I just have to throw in here for everybody listening because they can't see you. You currently have an adult beverage sitting on your table ready to go. Yes. I love it.
Yes. I think it's standard these days.
Oh, absolutely. I have a fridge in our garage stocked with that things. And as soon as I'm done here, that's where I'm headed.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and chatting. So I want to start and just tell everybody kind of who you are, what it is that you do, and maybe a little bit of sort of your journey of how you got into what it is that you do.
Sure. I'm Nikki Miller. I own Nikki Miller Photography, and I specialize in photographing families and children. And I really focus on real connection, lifestyle, candid. I try to make each session very individual to each family. I love to see how families love each other. And that is mostly what my work is about.
I love that. So what did you do before you got into photography? Like, is it something you've always loved doing or no?
Oh no, I had a long journey to photography. I started out as a musical theater actress, and I toured with a production of Oklahoma for 2 years. Um, and after I quit that, I did community theater around for a while I tried to find myself. I bartended. I worked at Microsoft for a while, doing just like kind of office work type stuff. And after I got married, we started having kids, and I decided to be a stay at home mom, not realizing that I was going to hate every minute of it. I felt like I lost myself after I had my first kid. And we had bought what I considered a nice camera at the time. And I started using it, learning how to use it, and decided that this was going to be my path back to finding myself. And it took many, many years. My son was born in 2012, and I think 2 years after that, I took a mommy and her camera class with my wedding photographer, and, and I learned how to use it. And I had no intention of starting a business, but it just became such a passion so quickly, and I latched onto it, and it gave me something to focus on besides being a mom and a wife. It kind of helped give me an identity outside of those things that was just for me.
I love that you're willing to like admit that you did not enjoy being home with your kids, because I think that's something that a lot of, I mean, I truly like, I think a lot of women are hesitant to admit to, because they feel like that it should come naturally. Like they feel like that they should want to be home with their kids, and they should want to be that, stay at home mom that just loves every second of it. And I read a book recently called Boss Up it's by Lindsay Teague Moreno. She has a podcast now too. And she said it perfectly. She was like, I had so much guilt over not loving being a stay-at-home mom. And once I let go of that guilt and like put it out into the world, like this weight was lifted. She goes, and other women started saying to me too, like, yeah, like I feel the same way. And she's like, I think there's different kinds of women. There's the women who just thrive in that environment. They absolutely love being the stay-at-home wife who like loves to cook and loves to do things around the house and projects with the kids. And then there's those who don't. And I think it's okay to say that you don't sometimes.
And my husband and I went through 9 months of couples therapy last year. And one of the things that I was finally able to verbalize was, I don't like being a stay-at-home mom. It's what works best for our family, but that doesn't make me like it. And what I came to realize was, not loving being a stay-at-home mom is not the same thing as not loving your kids.
Yeah.
And once I realized that, I was able to let go of so much guilt and so much heartache, and start embracing the life that I was creating for myself and my family versus the life that I thought everyone was supposed to have.
Yeah. Well, and so one of the reasons I wanted to have you on, obviously we've known each other for a couple of years. We're friends. Yes. But I think, and this is not anything negative towards other podcasts, but I listen to a lot of podcasts, and a lot of them will have these people on that are just like, they've been doing this for so long and they're making, multiple six figures, and they seem to have this level of success that anyone who is new to starting a business can't really relate to. And I know that you've had success in the last couple of years with your business. And that's not to say to downplay your success at all, but it's not like you're doing a 60-hour week making multiple six figures. So I wanted to really kind of showcase you and the progress you've made just from the time I first met you to now, and what you've been doing in your business to get there, because I think a lot of people will be able to relate to your journey and your story, and just you as a person too, because you're amazing. So when you first decided that you wanted to start a photography business, what was that process? Like, what was that journey like in the beginning of getting things going?
At the very beginning, it was just really making the decision. I had just recently been diagnosed with postpartum depression after my second child. And I just one day turned around to my husband and I said, I have to do something for myself. I'm going to start a photography business. And he was like, bless his heart, he never says no. He's like, okay, whatever you want. So I was like, I knew nothing about starting a business. I actually have a business degree. I went to school for music, but I also got a business degree while I was there. So I knew, I knew some of the legalities of creating a business, but I had not really paid attention to accounting or marketing or all the things that go into running your own business, because that was never in my plan. I think one of the first things I did was I was really concentrating on learning my camera and learning how to use it. And my idea of marketing was just offering free sessions. And I learned very quickly that that was the wrong thing to do, because I have one client. I've been doing this 5 years now. I have one client from those free sessions who came back and is still with me now. I knew nothing about the ideal client. I knew nothing about focusing your business. So I ended up signing up for your workshop, actually. You offered a business workshop where it was basically going to be how to start your business from the ground up. And I was the only one who showed up. And it turned out to be an amazing 4-hour afternoon. And I got to pick your brain about everything that there was to know. And from that moment on, I was able to focus my business from this idea to a reality. And that is still a journey I'm on today. But I think that was the first big hurdle, was going, okay, I need to not worry about the art anymore. I got the art.
Yeah.
I need to know how to make this a business. Those are two separate concepts that I think a lot of artistically inclined people, they think, oh, I'm good at the art, the business will come. Well, it's really the other way around. You need to be good at the business because the art will come.
Yeah.
You can work on the art, but if you're not bringing in that money to pay for all that expensive equipment,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter one
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. I was at a photography conference last year, and it was one of those where you can just kind of pop into different people's presentations throughout the week. And I went in, I can't even remember who he was. And I had an opening in my schedule, and I walked into this guy and his speech. And one of the things he said that stuck with me, he said, I would rather be a C+ photographer, but an A+ business person, than be an A+ photographer and a C+ business person, because the business part is so important. The art will come. And
Yeah.
I see so many photographers, and even just business people in general, this is not exclusive to photography, but that have a great idea or a great product or a great service or a great eye for detail, but they don't know how to get it out into the world, and they don't know how to market it properly, and they don't know the little details that kind of go into getting yourself known and noticed. And that they then start to think, well, it's the product, or it's the service, or it's the idea that's the problem.
Yes.
I also want to go back to something you said about the workshop. So just kind of as a little side note here. So this is a really great opportunity to say, like, when you're first starting out in anything, you have this vision of, like, for me, it was this workshop. I was like, I'm going to put this workshop out there because I think I just quit my teaching job. Maybe I can't remember when this was exactly, how long. I think it was right after I quit teaching. And I was like, I had all these people asking me, like, how did you do it? How did you get to this point? What's your secret? And I was like, I'm just going to teach a workshop. And I thought, I'm going to put it out there and all these people are going to sign up. It's going to be great. And so when I think I had 3 people sign up, and day of, 2 of them like had something happen and had to cancel. And I remember thinking, like, even with just the 3 people that signed up, I was like, man, I really thought it'd be bigger than this. But what I realized was, like, even if only one person shows up, which in this case was you, the impact you can have on that one person makes it all worthwhile. So, like, the fact that it wasn't, 10 people in this room, it was just you and I, but, like, having seen your business grow in the last couple of years and our friendship grow, like, to me, it was completely worth nobody else showing up to have you in that room in that moment. So for anyone listening who's thinking, okay, I have this great idea and I'm putting it out there, but no, but it's crickets, or I've had one person do this, or I only had 2 people sign up. That's okay. Like, we all start somewhere. I was listening to Marie Forleo talk the other day on a Facebook Live, and she was saying about how, like, when she first started teaching, it would be like her in a room with her parents, one of her parents' friends, and sometimes one other person. And she did that for, like months. And, just don't quit because you only get one person that shows up, because you never know what that one person's going to go and do from there on. So, little side note there.
For me, it was like the bargain of the century. I got like 4 hours of one-on-one mentoring.
Yeah.
And truly, between that and the times that you and I have worked together one-on-one after that, it has completely changed how I do business. It has completely changed my mentality towards how I handle my business. And it has given me a healthier perspective and helped me balance my personal life and my business life, because I have a way of focusing. I can set goals now that are business based, versus feeling like my life is my art and I must live my art. And it's okay for my art to be a business and to focus it that way.
Yeah. So I want to back up a little bit to that workshop. What was there, like a point that made you go, I need help with this? Like, what was that moment where you're like, I'm doing everything I can do, I need to find outside help? Or was it you just saw an opportunity and took it? Like, what got you to that point of kind of going, I need to ask for somebody else to come in and tell me what to do next?
It was a little bit of all the above. It was a great opportunity because it was local for me. Um, I had read a couple of things about this thing called the ideal client, and I didn't know what it was. I just kind of knew that the people I was working with at the time were probably not the ideal client, because I was having a hard time finding people to hire me. And I knew it wasn't because I was not a good photographer. It was because I didn't know where to market or how to market or what my website should look like or what branding meant. I just didn't know any of that. So, with this broad overview that you were offering, it seemed like a really good opportunity to get in there and at least start getting an idea of how to take my business from this big wide open, to funnel it, take it from this big wide open thing and bring it down to what it really is supposed to be.
Yeah. I think, like, you mentioned the ideal client a lot. And I know for me, that was a huge turning point in my business. And obviously it's made a difference in your business as well. And that's why, like, I talk about it so much, like here on the podcast and within the new business builders membership. Like, that's the first thing we teach about, is how to figure out who your ideal client is. So I want to talk a little bit more about that. Like, when you were able to really niche down to who your ideal client was, how has that impacted your business?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you've been listening to the Girl Means Business podcast for any amount of time, then you know my love of email marketing runs deep. Not only is it a great way to generate new leads, but it's one of the most effective methods for nurturing warm leads and turning them into sales. Now, over the years, I've tested several email platforms, and my favorite by far is Flowdesk. Not only do they make email marketing simple and easy, even for the technically challenged, but they have everything you need to create stunning emails, capture leads, make sales, and automate the entire process, giving you time back in your busy day. And the cherry on top is you're only charged one flat fee no matter how many subscribers you have. So while other platforms will increase your price when you go over your pricing tier limit, Flowdesk has no price increases or hidden fees. If you're ready to give Flowdesk a try, click the link below in the show notes to save 50% off your first year. Let Flowdesk help you design emails people will love. Click the link below and check it out. I have a feeling you're going to love it just as much as I do.
It's impacted it in every way. I know who I'm talking to. Whenever I post on Facebook or Instagram, whenever I write anything on my website, I have a person in my head that I am writing to and writing for. And so everything comes out so much more specifically. I'm sure that I have turned off many people because of who I am. I can be very upfront and brusque and brash, but I am who I am, and I want people to know that upfront. I want them to know what they're getting, and I stopped when I stopped to say, do I want to? I don't want to say pander. Do I want to sell to these people just because they're willing to pay me money? Or do I want to have people that really appreciate what I do and make it fun, make it worth it? Because if I'm going to be giving up time with my family and giving up time doing other stuff, can you hear my kids knocking?
Actually, I can't. No, I was looking to see if my dog was going to bark at the UPS guy walking up. So.
If I'm going to be giving up time that I could be doing other things, I want to do it with people who A, appreciate what I'm giving them, and B, are people that I want to be around.
So do you notice, like, once you started doing that, like once you really started putting because I saw a big change in your social media and your online presence. And I could tell a difference in almost like the confidence behind what you were posting. Yes. Whereas I think when I first met you, like your posts were just kind of like, okay, like it had that feeling of that kind of, I don't want to say meekness, but just sort of this like, I don't really know what I'm doing, so I'm just going to put all this stuff out here and see what happens. Whereas like now when I see you post, I can tell it's very focused. It feels very confident. And like, I know who I am. I know who I'm talking to. I know what I want from my clients and what my clients are going to get from me. And I'm confident in my skills and my ability to provide the service. And so I think, even just seeing that, but do you think that it has created a client base for you that's what you want? Are you working with your ideal client?
Yes. In fact, last fall was my busiest fall ever. The previous fall, I was also really busy. The difference in my clients, because I had very few repeat clients between the two seasons. And that's because in that time, I really changed who I was marketing to. That's when my social media really started to change. That's when I really started to focus on that ideal client. The clients I had this last fall, I raised my prices significantly. I didn't have a single person question my prices. Every one of my families was an absolute joy to work with. It was such a difference in the kind of people that I was working with. Not to say that the families the previous fall weren't great people. They were just different personalities. They were not the kind of people who would spend $500 on a family session, which is getting one of my price points, and mm-hmm. Some people might think that's too much. Some people might think it's too little. If you think it's too little, I'll take more, but it's the difference in the people was enormous. I couldn't believe what a difference it made. I really could tell.
Well, and I could tell too, like with your online presence too, like you were putting more of yourself, I think, into your business and your brand. Like I know you and I did a branding session together, and it still is one of my favorites because we went to a local like little rooftop bar and grill, and we did photos of you with beer and cheese fries, or they were some kind of fries, cheese fries or something.
Oh, they have chips. They
those chips.
Have them. Yeah, and they don't have them anymore. I'm so sad.
That's terrible. Well, that used to be like your go-to work spot was that little rooftop bar. And I love that you like, but even still like seeing more of you putting yourself into, you know, your marketing and sharing parts of who you are and not being afraid of turning people away or turning people off because they don't relate to you. I think that's been another difference I've seen, and a big change I've seen. Again, it goes back to the confidence. I feel like whether you mean to or not, like that confidence comes across in your content, that confidence behind, you can reach out to me and so a client might ask you to bargain on your prices or come down, but I get that and feeling from you that like, no, this is who I am. This is what I offer. This is how much it costs. Take it or leave it.
Exactly. And a big part of that was working with you and finding, you know, we did a lot of learning about cost of doing business. And when I started looking at the actual numbers, which I hate doing because I'm not a numbers person, I just want to be like, can't I just put a number together and throw it out there?
Just pull it out of thin air.
But yeah, I mean, this sounds good, right?
Yeah.
But I remember one of the most impactful things that you said to me was, you may not be your own ideal client.
Yeah.
And when I started thinking that way, like, I kept thinking I would never pay this much money to have somebody photograph my family. I am turning into my own ideal client. I am paying that much because that's how much it means to me now. Mm-hmm. But just having someone sit there and go, look, this is how much it's costing you to run your business. You are losing money by what you're charging because you're not charging your worth. And I think my big fear was, well, my pictures aren't worth it. And one of the first things you said was, you can see the connection in every one of your photos. Yeah. I've seen people pay far more money for far less better work. And when I started thinking about that, I was like, the only thing holding me back is myself.
Oh, absolutely. We are our own worst critics for sure. Yeah. And it's amazing to me how easy it is for us to not see our own worth. And sometimes you need somebody else to come along and say, no, your work is incredible and it's only gotten better since then, which is going to continue to get better, obviously. And you deserve to charge X amount of dollars plus some. And sometimes just having somebody else have confidence in you helps give you the confidence you need.
Makes all the difference in the world. Yeah.
So aside, we talked about like the ideal client and a little bit of like the cost of doing business, but like what are some of the other things that have helped you to move your business to where it is now?
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey photographers, are you ready to make 2024 your best year yet? Growing a business is tough. You're following all the successful photographers and experts, soaking up their best advice and downloading all their free guides, trying to replicate their success only to come up lacking, blaming yourself when their methods don't work for you. But the truth is, it isn't you. Free content and one-size-fits-all courses can only get you so far. What you need is personalized help and guidance, but that can get expensive. Well, not anymore. I've created the perfect solution to get you personalized results for less than $2 a day. Introducing the Focus Photographer Lab, a one-of-a-kind coaching membership that gets you one-on-one results for a fraction of the cost of traditional coaching. Inside the lab, you'll find the 3 C's to success: classes, coaching, and community. With classes, you gain access to a treasure trove of pre-recorded trainings and invaluable resources. With coaching, you get monthly live trainings and Q&A sessions, along with my favorite part, the weekly one-on-one office hours, where we get to address your unique questions and challenges. And then there's the community, where you get to connect with an amazing group of talented female photographers who share your passion, supporting each other and inspiring each other to greatness. The best part is it doesn't come with an expensive one-on-one coaching price tag. You get all of that for just $47 a month. You can even try it for free for 14 days to make sure it's a good fit for you. And there is no contract and no obligation. You can cancel at any time. So what are you waiting for? Head down to the show notes and click the link to learn more and get signed up today. And let's make 2024 our best year yet.
Well, doing the business brunch with you has been super helpful.
Okay, so let's talk about that for a second, because I actually
Yeah.
meant to bring this up earlier and I forgot. So last year I had this idea that I wanted to get a group of women together here in our area that were all photographers, and that we would meet once a month for brunch, and we would just sort of talk about ideas. We would have, the idea originally was to have a certain topic each month, and we would each go around and we would share something good that's happened, and we would share something we were struggling with, and we'd all just kind of help each other out. And one of the things, especially when you were talking about the ideal client, that I meant to say earlier was, what I found really interesting was sitting in those brunches where there's 10 of us, 8 to 10, depending on the month, but we all were photographers, all in pretty much the same area. And not once, at least I didn't feel this way. I don't think anybody else at the table did. Not once did I feel like y'all were my competition in any way, shape, or form.
Well, every one of us had a different style of photography. We had different ideal clients. And it's been that, having that for the entire year was so helpful, because it was so nice to have different perspectives to bring to kind of jumpstart my creativity and my ideas for what I would like to incorporate into my own business. And photography is often a very lonely business, because it's a lot of just you behind a camera, you behind a computer screen. So it's nice to get together and be able to talk business, not just the art of it, but the business side of it. That was what was so wonderful, was we got to talk about brainstorm about different ways of marketing, like how to get involved with your community so that you're getting your business name out there in a real way that's not just Facebook or Instagram. Talking about social media strategies and how you present yourself, and what your SEO should look like, how to get it up where it should be. Knowing that other people were struggling with the same things, being able to lean on people who were stronger in one area where I was weak, or being able to offer somebody advice. It was just so helpful once a month to be able to get together and do that.
Yeah, it was huge for me too. And I hate that we haven't been able to get together this year just because of everything that's been going on, and we're all, stuck at home. And before that it was schedules, and it was always something. But I mean, that little group for me, like I went into it, just pure transparency here. Like I went into it with the idea that I was going to be kind of helping everyone in the group, and as sort of the one who was leading the group. But I walked away every single time thinking, like, I learned something from every single one of y'all at that table. And I gained a community of women who, like, I mean, y'all saw me break down and cry over failures in my business. And, and y'all were there to help me, like, realize that it wasn't a failure. It was a learning experience. And, we helped each other through the things that we were going through. And yeah, it was what you said about having other people that were like, no, I get it. Like, I'm struggling with the same things, or I'm struggling in different areas, but we're all struggling, and we're all succeeding too. And that was why, like, I always wanted to start with what's something good that's happened in the last time since we saw each other last, because I don't want it to just be about what are we struggling with. I want it to be, look what I've done that I'm proud of, because I don't think we do that enough sometimes. I don't think we celebrate our successes enough. And so being able to say, even if it was something as simple as I sold my top package to a client, or I posted to social media every single day for a month and I haven't done that before, like those are wins that we need to celebrate. And so that was nice.
And to bring it back around to talking about business mentorship, it felt like the next natural step in having a business mentor. Like it was nice to continue the business education with other people who were at all different stages of being in their own business.
Yeah. So what is your, like, compared to when you and I first met, what does your business look like now? How is it different?
Oh, um, well, I don't just shoot anything and everything anymore. I really focus on families and children, and newborns. Uh, I do the only posed uh, stuff I do is maternity. And I really try to market that mostly as an intro to newborns.
Mm-hmm.
But I have begun to really focus on each family as an individual, find out who they are, what their story is, and what they want to remember from this season of life that they're in, so that we can capture that. This is not, I know most families only get to do this once every year, sometimes once every other year. I know they're paying me a lot of money to do it. I want this not just to be a pretty sunset session. I want it to be about what they're going through at this moment in time, so that when they look back on these photos 10 years from now, they remember exactly what they were feeling. They remember exactly what was going on in their life, how little sister picked on big brother, whatever it is. And I was able to take that focus and build my website around it, build my social media around it. What I share from my own life on my social media is very, very geared towards the real part of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing my kids in their pajamas at 3 p.m. on their iPads. You know, like I want my families to see that I get it. I get that life is beautiful and hard, and a picture doesn't just have to be pretty, it can be meaningful. As far as the business side of it, uh, I have finally learned how to structure my pricing. I am pricing myself so that I am covering my cost of doing business and making money. I made money last year. Yay. And that was huge because I was charging prices that I thought nobody would ever pay me. And the first time I had somebody book me at my new prices and not bat an eye, I almost peed my pants.
I think you text me, or either you text or message me, and you were like, "Oh my gosh, she just booked me at this price," and I would did like a little happy dance for you because I was so excited. I know you were so excited for that.
I was, and the last few months have been rough between the quarantine and homeschool. I have a son who is high functioning autistic and has ADHD, and homeschooling him has been a real challenge. And me personally, I've just been in a hard space since the end of the year, just because I think I was so busy. But I've really been taking this time to focus on where I want my business to go in the next year. And I don't think I would be I don't think I would be so goal oriented had I not sat down with you and had those sessions where we said, well, what are the 3 things that you want to work on this year? I think one of the things you did with me was you said, put sticky notes on your pad and say, these are my goals for this month, and these are my goals for this quarter, and these are my goals for this year. And I've really stuck with that. And even though I thought it was hokey at first, it felt so good every time I checked off a goal. And it really did help me follow through and do those things and find more success. So I feel like every time I commit myself more to a goal, my business takes another step in the right direction.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, those goals are so helpful and I was the same way when I first started doing that, because I always had like abstract goals. I was like, oh, I just want to make more money this year, or, oh, I just want to book more sessions. And once I was able to say, no, I need to put like a specific like number to that, and I need to put a specific like timeline to that, then it really helps you like take it from abstract to concrete, and it makes a huge difference. So I love that you're doing that. I am so excited for you. I cannot tell you, like, just in the past couple of years, like watching your business grow and watching, like, it's almost like reminds me of when I was still teaching elementary school, and not to compare you to like a second grader, but it's like when you watch your second graders, when you work at the same campus, you see them go from like the little sweet little babies they were when they walked into your classroom to like these kids that when they leave elementary and go off into middle school, and how much they've changed, or like seeing them come back to your classroom and be so excited about something they did or accomplished. And that's the same feeling I get whenever I see you doing something amazing, when I see you on social media, or when we see each other in person and we get to talk. And, it's clearly, it's not me, it's you implementing the things that we've done. Like, it's not about what I taught you, it's about what you did with that information that I gave you. I just kind of guided you in the right direction, but it feels like watching, your favorite student grow up. So,
oh, well, it's so nice to have you to be able to celebrate the wins with, and to come to you and be like, is this right? Is this something I should be doing? It's sometimes you just need that little voice in your ear going, Nikki, you know better than that. And sometimes you're that voice for me, and I need it. I appreciate it.
Well, good. Well, Nikki, okay, so tell everybody before we go where they can find you and learn more about your services and see your beautiful work.
Sure. You can find me at www.nikkimillerphotography.com. I'm on Facebook and Instagram at Nikki Miller Photos, and that's photos with an S, because there are more than one Nikki Miller Photography.
Shocking. You're such a common name. Okay, so
I know.
A question I always like to ask is, to wrap everything up, is if your best friend came to you today and said, Nikki, I have this amazing idea for a business, what would be your like number one piece of advice you would give to somebody who is like on the ground level of starting something?
Figure out what the cost will be, both the emotional and the financial.
Ooh, that's good. Yeah, I haven't heard that answer yet, but that's really good, because I think a lot of people do. They think about like, oh, this is going to cost, X amount of dollars to buy a new camera, or to get lenses or equipment, or invest in, inventory or whatever. But the emotional cost that's not something people think about.
And there's always an emotional cost.
Mm-hmm.
It's also an emotional gain, but it's something you have to take into consideration.
Yeah. Awesome. Yay. Well, thank you so much, Nikki, for chatting today. I can't wait to see your business grow even more. So I appreciate it. And thank you for being my friend.
Thank you.
A huge, huge thank you to Nikki for letting me crash her day and just talk to her about all the things going on in her business. I kind of reached out to her at the last minute with this idea, and I just really appreciate her being open to the idea of sitting down and chatting with me via Zoom, of course, because, social distancing and all. But it was really great. I have missed seeing her, and it was a great opportunity to catch up. And I hope that those of you listening are inspired by all the things that she has done in her business, because it really has been, and I know she is going to be humble when it comes to this, and she's not going to toot her own horn, but I will do it for her. She has done amazing things in the last 3 or 4 years with her business. From the time that I first met her, and you heard me talk about this in the interview, with just the confidence level and seeing how bold she's become in her business, and how authentic she's become, and how just confident in what it is that she's doing. She has a very clear path and direction that she wants. And being able to have any part in helping her get there has been such an amazing blessing. And I feel so honored to have met her and to call her my friend. So thank you, Nikki, for being a part of the show today. And for those of you listening to this, if you find yourself at the spot that Nikki was when she and I first started working together, where you have started a business, or you have this amazing idea, but you just don't know what to do next, whether it's marketing, whether it's creating an online presence, whether it's finding your ideal client, or figuring out how to manage the financial side, whatever it is that you are struggling with, I encourage you to go check out the Business Builders membership, because I really believe that what we're building over there is going to help you find that roadmap that you need to get your business moving in the right direction. So join me over inside Business Builders. Head to girlmeansbusiness.com/business builders. Check out all the amazing details and what you can expect from your membership. You'll be able to join the Facebook group and jump right into all of our amazing conversations. And I cannot wait to see you inside there. Let's build something amazing together. All right, guys, have a wonderful, wonderful week. I will see you back here next week, same time, same place.